Hello and welcome to the Wu Wei Wisdom Tao Dialogues. Drawing from my practice as a Taoist monk and teacher, we can explore the Wu Wei balance and harmony in all areas of life. In this episode of the Tao Dialogues, we'll discuss the subject of breaking free from self-sabotage and embracing your true self. Have you ever caught yourself striving forward only to suddenly retreat in doubt? Do you find your mind whispering, "You're not enough," even in moments of great opportunity? Is there a quiet inner voice urging you to keep small, keep your head down, just when you're ready to step forward into your potential and take on a new challenge? We'll dive into this Tao Dialogues episode, answering these questions. The cycle of self-sabotage is not a failure of willpower or intelligence. It is a survival strategy born from misunderstanding, born from our inner child. This has been shaped in the early years of our emotional development. And our little one learns the trade of using their emotions to gain approval, to gain safety, or to be protected. But more likely, to know certainty, to be future-proofed. And these patterns become deeply ingrained. And they echo through our lives. I call them red light emotions. Now you may call them fear, anxiety, shame, guilt, procrastination. But whatever we call them, they freeze us. And they keep us on the familiar track, even if it's not successful. And this is something to really be aware of. The inner child part of our mind will always choose the familiar, even if it doesn't work. But it's time to look at these through a fresh lens, a fresh eye, and to stop assessing them as flaws or weaknesses and see them in another way. Perhaps they're messages from our inner child who's confused, stuck, doesn't know what to do, only to use emotions as its means of communication. And this is the heart of Taoist teachings and Wu Wei wisdom teachings. And it's a gentle invitation for you to remember, we are not broken. It's the opposite. We are whole. We are one. And remembering this is not about your intellect, because you already know this. It's about your intuition. It's about connecting to something much deeper than your emotions. And we don't connect by striving or trying harder and harder and harder. We do it the opposite way. Right now, you can do it now just by listening. But as you listen, see if there's any resistance. That could be physically or mentally. And just try now. Drop your shoulders. Take a breath. Calm your mind. Because the Wu Wei wisdom teaching is this path of transformation doesn't flow through force, through trying, through criticizing, through comparing. It flows through truth, honesty, and integrity. We call that the power of three. Being truthful, being honest, and living and walking with integrity. Because our Shen, our inner spirit, our inner knowing, you may call it your intuition, whispers to you, doesn't shout like the inner child, where the inner child talks at you, rather shouts at you. Your Shen spirit talks from you, without judgment, without criticism, but with truth, not with force, but with softness. And it's like tuning in a radio. We have to tune in to that frequency. And when you do, you can create a different image in your mind. Perhaps you can imagine your little one, your inner child, frightened, stuck, standing at a fork in the road. One leads to what is familiar but unsuccessful. One leads to the unknown, where they have to trust. Which one are you going to choose? The inner child will always choose the familiar, clinging to old stories, running the same narrative, because they believe that they'll be safe, not successful, but safe. And then you'll hear yourself saying, if I fail now, if I make a mistake, it will hurt less than if I step into the unknown. If I reject myself first, if I sabotage myself now, then no one else can. If I criticize myself harshly, then if somebody else does it, it won't seem so bad. Have you said something like that? These are illusions. They're not truth. They're definitely not honest, and they certainly don't have integrity. And so you lose the power of three, and you lose that connection to your Shen, your spirituality, your inner truth, your inner wisdom. And the Tao, for thousands of years, have reminded us of this. When we let go of the need to control, when we let go of the need to be future-proofed, when we let go of the need to be protected, to be perfect, then we let go of the chains and we can begin to flow. We don't lose ourselves. It's the opposite. For the first time, we meet ourselves. We meet our spiritual selves, something deeper inside of us. Something you've always known it's there. You ignore it. It's quieter. Isn't it easier, more comfortable to follow the same old path? Like a pinball machine bouncing off your emotions, instead of connecting to something much quieter. The connection to your Shen. And the inner child will resist. It will run to its logic. It will create strong, intense red light feelings. But the red light feelings are just the voice of the inner child. You could call it throwing a temper tantrum. In Taoism, they sometimes call it squealing piglets. And if you observe the squealing piglets, you can't become part of it. You can listen to their voice. You can feel their feelings. But that's just a feeling. It will pass. It's always past. And there's something much more important, something that represents you, something deeper inside of you. And from that place, you can say to that inner child, to the little one, sweetheart, I understand. I can hear you. I'm listening now. I may have ignored you in the past, but we can change, and we can choose together to walk a different path. One of the most famous books in Taoist teachings, the I Ching, teaches us in hexagram 59, when rooted deeply, your foundation is firm. When aligned with the Tao, nothing is lost, because everything returns to balance and flow. And this rootedness, this foundation, this anchor, doesn't come from emotions, but it comes from truth. It comes from radical honesty. Honesty with yourself. If you break through that barrier and ask yourself the truth, is there anything wrong with you? Is there anything missing in you? And don't listen to the inner child. Listen to the truth. Do you have innate worth and value? A birthright? Do you believe in it 100%, or is there some doubts? And this is your inner child. And this is stopping the authentic transformation. This is stopping you from radical truthfulness. I know this sounds harsh, but you know what the inner child craves for more than anything is consistency. It will push the boundaries, all children do, but it wants to know the boundary is there. It's not flexible. And this frees you. This gives you your boundaries. This gives you your truth and your honesty and your integrity, that you can stand in your own light, no longer hiding, no longer wearing masks and pretending and trying to fit in or people please or to be perfect when you know you can't. No one can. Perfection is a perception. It doesn't exist. And when you try and do this, you end up on what we call the carousel of despair. The dog chasing its tail, the donkey grasping the carrot. It never works. It's an endless loop of trying, failing, judging, and then trying it again. But this is what's familiar. And the inner child will always move you towards that. So it's time to step off that ride. You've always known it's the time to step off the ride. What have you got to lose? Emotions. Well, you're already creating emotions. You can't create new emotions. Well, it means I have to embrace the unknown, the uncertainty. But the truth is, we live in uncertainty. You've never known the future. This is your life. This is our life. We don't know what's going to happen. But we can trust ourselves on the next step. We can free ourselves. We can flow. We can learn by our mistakes. And we can start to speak to ourselves differently, truthfully. And we can move those harmful, self-sabotaging phrases that we use all the time. I'm not good enough. I can't cope. I'm unlovable. They get boring because they don't take you anywhere. Why don't you make every step meaningful? Why don't you own your steps? Stop comparing yourself with others. They're walking their journey. They're experiencing their emotions. They don't know yours. You can't meet their standards because you never know what their standards are, because they'll keep on changing them. This is time for you to take full responsibility, accountability for your life. Try just today. Stop criticizing, comparing, and being judgmental. I call CCJ. Stop CCJ. Instead, become inquisitive. Ask yourself some questions. What is my true belief? And where did I get it from? And why do I choose to still hold it when it doesn't work? And then the most important, that I call the Shen test. Would I teach this to my physical child? And in all of my times of practicing, I've never met a client who said, I would teach this to my physical child who I love. Then the question is about integrity. If you would not teach it to your child, why do you teach it to your inner child? Don't use your emotions. Your emotions are not your masters. How can they be the masters when you create them? But they are your messengers. They can take you down to a belief that we call the golden thread process. Why have I chosen to create that feeling? Why have I chosen to create fear? Why have I chosen to create anxiety, being scared? What belief is creating the feeling? And that's where your power lies. And I understand it's a difficult path for you to tread. But what's the alternative? You go round and round the carousel. It's time to change. It's time to walk a new path. It's time to connect to the power of three: truth, honesty, integrity. Stand tall, speak your truth, walk your truth, live your truth, dress your truth, eat your truth, drink your truth. Be like water flowing down when you see an obstacle, a boulder or a stone. You don't stop and hold your hands up and say, there we go again, look what's happened to me. You find a way around it. Poor me, everything's against me. It's not the truth. We're not that important to have the universe against you. It's time to look inwards, to embrace. What a wonderful word. Embrace your spirituality. Your spirituality, that Shen, is like a compass pointing to true north. And true north is your potential. And no one knows that except you. And you already have worthiness. It's your birthright. You can't chase it. No one can give it to you. And no one can take it away. Let me repeat that. No one can lessen, remove, lower your worth and your value. It's your birthright. So it's time to release what I call the three lies. I'm not good enough. I can't cope. I'm unworthy or unlovable. Those are just lies. And every time you do that, you're increasing the speed of the carousel. It's just not true. And once you see that, once you breathe, once you know that everything you need is already inside of you, and this doesn't mean you're not going to face difficulties and challenges and awkward times. This is what the Tao Dialogue is about, to have a different dialogue with yourself. So when a strong, intense emotion arises, just pause for a moment, a blink of an eye, and say, what belief have I accepted that created this emotion? Trace it back. I will almost guarantee every time it goes right back into your childhood. See the truth of the situation. Imagine if it was your child coming up to you for guidance. What would you say to them? If a child came to you and said, Mom, Dad, I really tried hard, but I failed my maths exam, would you say to them, well, that's because you're not good enough? It's a nonsense. That's the last thing you say. But you say to yourself, there's the dishonesty. There's the lack of integrity. It's time to change that inner dialogue, to stop self-sabotaging, to choose your truth over these old, tired stories. It's time to practice. You won't get it right. I don't expect you to get it right first time. It's consistent, small steps of speaking truth in your inner voice. We all have an inner voice. Don't allow that inner voice to give you lies. Don't allow it to use emotions to control you. This is your time to change, and you can begin right now. Hold the power of 3 as your guiding light. Truth, honesty, and integrity. This is what you would teach your child. Truth, honesty, and integrity. Let that be your mantra. This is not about fixing anything. It's not about healing. It's about remembering. Remembering who you really are. And that's what this Tao Dialogue has been about. Remembering who you are and making your dialogue, your inner dialogue, reflect that. Stop lying you're not broken, you're not behind, you're not too late. This is your time. This is your moment. These are your choices. The same old path, or stand tall. And breathe deep with me now. And smile within yourself. This is your liberation. We're not here to seek perfection. We're here to seek authenticity. Just before we finish, if you can, just place your hand on your heart or your chest. And just be aware of your chest rising and falling. And just in your own mind, just say to your inner child, to your little one, sweetheart, little one, we are whole, we are one. And we are going to choose love, kindness, compassion. And we are going to trust the flow of life. Because this is our journey. And this is who we are. So thank you for sharing this Tao Dialogue with me. And I look forward to seeing you on the next exciting edition. In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel or support us in our Substack journal or our Facebook community. There's lots of people on this journey with you, and you're not alone. Until we meet again, Yi Dao, Qi Dao.